today's call, we're going to speak with Daniel Blue. He's an entrepreneur who's going to share with us his story, how he was able to overcome some hardships early on in life, including addiction and all these different issues. And he was able to find a direction and redirect and rebuild his life once he started having children. And that was, his big, meaningful why. He was then able to eventually grow and rebuild his life up to the point that now he has two big successful businesses, uh, which are very much relevant to what we do here. He helps people to take their retirement accounts and take control of it and essentially have, uh, you release that money and you're no longer trapped and bound into the stock market through a solo 401k, which he can help you set up. Then he will take that and you essentially have control to invest in whatever it is you want to invest in, whether that's real estate or cryptocurrency or precious metals or the stock market if you want. But whatever it is, you then have control, and you can essentially. I think he's in agreement with me that when you have the control and the responsibility and the ownership over your retirement, you're probably going to make a lot better decisions, a lot more informed decisions, because who's going to take better care of your money than you are? So it's a really interesting topic. It's a really interesting show, and I hope you take a lot away from it. Thanks for joining us. Bye. Okay, well, welcome, listeners. Today we have a really special guest named Daniel Blue. Daniel's he's a host of a podcast named How Winners Win, and he has a company that is focused on education, specifically on alternative investments. And so I think it's a very relevant guest to have for our purposes. Daniel, thank you for joining us today.
Alex, thank you for having me, man. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, I think we're going to be good friends, man. I really want to learn a lot from you and connect. So, I'll let you actually first start by correcting my introduction if there was anything I missed there. I think I focused maybe more on the educational side, but also, of course, you have your self-directed investment side. So maybe we can start there, and uh, I'll let you just introduce yourself too.
Yeah, basically the myth that people have is when they have an IRA or 401k, they're limited to just the stock market and they can't access that money penalty and tax free until they're retired. And that's just not true. So our company in a nutshell, we help people that have 401ks and IRAs, we help them access those dollars penalty and tax free. And so a lot of the customers that we've worked with over the years, they're using their retirement accounts to invest outside the stock market. They're investing into real estate, precious metals. The new one is crypto. Just basically having a lot more freedom and control over their money. I own a company called Quest Education. We've got customers in all 50 states. And just being in the financial space as many years as I have been, I thought it would be a good thing to put together a podcast. I have a podcast called How Winners Win with my co-host Keitoh Spears, and we didn't want it to be just another financial, boring, dry podcast. Yes, we do talk about some financial strategies, but we also talk about failures and adversity and challenges and personal development and just trying to help people along through the journey because entrepreneurship is not an easy journey. And I mean, just being frank, um, leveling up and chasing a better version of yourself is not easy. There's just going to be some trials and tribulations along the way. So just using this podcast as a way to show what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me, and see how I can help as many people as I can.
Well, that sounds amazing. Um, I think we're definitely on the same wavelength, and I'm really glad that you reached out to be on the show. Um, yeah, I mean, definitely there's just growing ourselves, overcoming our limiting beliefs, our habits. There's a whole bunch to it, but I always want to give my guests an opportunity to just kind of maybe start with some of the personal side of it, right? Maybe just something as simple as where you grew up and how you ended up where you are now, because that's part of it, right? We all have kind of these different starting points, and that's an important thing too to acknowledge and to kind of I guess, learn from. So please tell me where did you grow up? Are you um, yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in Oceanside, California, in San Diego County, and I grew up middle class. Had a mom and a dad in the house, and just normal life. And then when I was 12, my parents got divorced. My dad ended up moving to Mexico, so all of a sudden I had two parents in the house. It was just my mom, single mom. She was a social worker. She was gone pretty much most of the day. And since I had a lot more free time and not a lot of supervision, I started going down a wrong path in middle school and high school, experimenting with drugs and not showing up to school and just not doing well. And I ended up leaving Oceanside, California, and I moved to Utah right after my junior year in high school. And my mom thought it'd be a good idea for me to go to a different state, different school, and get a shot at graduating high school. So I completed my senior year in Utah, and I never was able to really uh, combat my demons. I still had some struggles internally. So when I graduated, I was 18. I ended up getting into OxyContin, and for those who don't know, it's a really powerful pill. It's pretty much like heroin in a pill. And I was addicted to OxyContin from 18 to 20 years old. And during that time frame, a couple things happened. One, I got into sales, and I didn't realize that sales was going to be something that I could excel at, I could make some good money at, and eventually help me launch a career. But I also experimented with drugs in that arena, and then really I hit my low point when I had my daughter when I was 19 years old. And I definitely believe that was a big reason how I was able to overcome that and actually be clean. 32 years old now, so I've been clean for about 12 years. And because of sales, I was able to eventually become an entrepreneur. And I dropped out of college when I was about 20 years old because once I found sales, I thought, well, why do I need to go to college? So started setting appointments and got good at that. And then I started closing deals. I got good at that. And then I started running my own team. I got good at that. And then I became a sales manager. I got good at that. And then was able to put myself in a position by meeting certain people, networking with certain people, and saving some money to eventually start my own business.
What a powerful turnaround. That's and I see the trend, right? It's this gradual trend of what's in front of you. You find the opportunity there, you get good at it, and it leads you to something else. And that's something. And in particular, of all the skill sets, sales is the one that is, it's super transferable. It's super valuable. It's Robert Kiyosaki's all about sales, right? Um, and so very cool, very cool. I really appreciate you sharing that. And I'll admit, like right now, I have a 7-month-old daughter. It's my first baby right now, and it's got me reflecting about everything. Just what am I doing? Where am I going? And and so I can imagine how it might take something that powerful to help you have changed direction. And I'm very happy that you were able to do that. And thank you for sharing. All right. So Daniel, thank you for sharing that. So now, well, let's talk about. I'll tell you a little bit about my experience and kind of what helped me to get this show started. Right. Essentially, I'm an apartment syndicator, and so I just earlier this year in January closed on my very first apartment deal, and it was the first time I had to raise money from people, and it was something that I was challenged. It was very challenging for me. It was something I had never done before, and and it was challenging. And it was one of the things that really stood out to me was one friend in particular who told me, "I can't invest in that. I'm too busy investing for my retirement." And it just really resonated as, wow, we really see things very differently. Investing for your retirement 30 years from now, as opposed to investing in maybe your retirement 5, 10 years from now with something that is, in my opinion, less risky and might produce higher returns than what you're getting in the stock market, than what you're getting in the 401k. And by the way, there's no chance that that investment in your 401k can change your life today because you can't touch the money, it's trapped. Or is it, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, you just look at you got to follow the money, right? Wall Street, these big financial companies, Fidelity, they want money in the stock market because they make money based off of assets under management, right? They're making 1 or 2% a year, give or take, off of the money that's held inside of these IRAs and 401ks. So why would they want to teach people? Because these accounts, self-directed IRAs, solo 401ks, those are the accounts that we help people set up. These are legitimate IRS approved accounts, not some shady account that's brand new. I mean, these accounts have been around for decades. The government approves them, right? So they're legitimate. So why don't these financial companies talk to people about them? Well, follow the money. Like, why would they want to teach people how to use a retirement account to invest into real estate or to access the money penalty and tax free to invest in their own business? Why would they want to teach people that? Because that's going to take that's going to take money out of their possession, right? They want
Hmm.
money in mutual funds, ETFs, index funds. That's how they make money. So financial advisors, either one, they're not aware of these accounts because they're not taught this, or two, they know about it, but why are they going to bring it up? That's going to cost them money.
Very interesting. And so, assets under management, if I give a guy $100,000 to invest, he might make that 1 or 2% of that, regardless of his performance. Is that true?
Yeah,
He can make
yeah,
money, he can lose money, irrelevant. He's just making
yeah.
that money based on.
And there's some mutual funds, like a Class A mutual fund, for example, triggers an upfront commission where they can get a 3 to 5% commission. All right, so if they sell, I'm just going to use an arbitrary number, $100,000 Class A mutual fund, that could pay a $5,000 upfront commission, whether that 100,000 makes money or loses money, right? So they make money a couple of different ways.
Wow, okay, very interesting. Thank you so much for listening to the show. It's a big step to realize that there's a whole world of opportunity out there for you. And then you've already started to dive into your education, which is required to be able to navigate the world beyond the stock market. But the next step is to take action. So if you want a chance to invest with me and my team, sign up for our investor club at legatoinvest.com/invest. We'll schedule a call with you, get to know you, your background, and your investment objectives. And if there's a good fit, we'll start to present you with live opportunities to invest in multifamily apartment deals. So again, legatoinvest.com/invest. Thanks again. So what do you propose? Tell me more about your self-directed IRA accounts, or what are they called? Are they self-directed IRAs or self-directed retirement accounts? Tell me more
So
about those.
we, yeah, so we work with a lot of entrepreneurs. So consultants, people that have online businesses, solopreneurs, real estate investors, people with side hustles. So we work with a lot of entrepreneurs. And the IRS code allows an entrepreneur to take advantage of what's called a solo 401k. And this is an account that is self-directed, and it allows you to take money out of the account, penalty and tax free, and you could use that money however you want. Maybe you want to use that money to buy some inventory for your new online business, or you need some capital for your ad spend for your business, for marketing. Or maybe you have some high interest rate credit card debt. Maybe you see that you're paying 20% interest to Discover and you want to pay off your credit card debt. You could use money from a solo 401k to pay off credit card debt, to fund your business. You also could use money in a solo 401k to invest into syndication, maybe invest into an apartment complex with you, or flip a house, or precious metals. So really the difference between a solo 401k and a self-directed IRA is solo 401k is for an entrepreneur, a self-directed IRA is for an individual. Anyone can set up a self-directed IRA, but not everyone can set up a solo 401k. You have to qualify, you have to be an entrepreneur to qualify.
Oh, very interesting. Okay. So as a realtor, for example, that's one of the things myself and a lot of my peers could do if we were doing a 1099 realtor. Would they be a good candidate for
Yeah, yeah,
solo for?
yeah. So I got a couple clients out in California, and they're doing six figures a year in commissions, 1099. And what they're able to do is they're able to take some of the money that they make from selling properties, and they take that money and they put it into their solo 401k. And by doing that, they get in a tax advantage. Either it can be tax deferred or tax free. Their money can grow, and then they can use that money to invest outside the stock market. So, I'm not here to give financial advice on this phone call or on this call period. That's not what our company does. But at the end of the day, it just comes down to goals, right? It comes down to how do you want your money working for you? I talk to people, and there's people out listening to this. Maybe they're completely fine having their 100,000 or their 500,000 in a stock market based retirement account, and they're okay with mutual funds or stock. If that's your cup of tea, then whatever floats your boat. But I also know there's people out there that are thinking, well, shoot, I don't want to have all my money in the stock market. The stock market is so volatile. It goes up, it goes down. I'd rather have my money, or at least some of my money, in an account that I have more freedom and flexibility. Let me get a solo 401k or a self-directed IRA. And that's where we come in.
Very cool. Very cool. So, yeah, and that's one of the things too. Like, despite the name of this show, I don't completely discount the stock market, right? I acknowledge that there are people who've made millions, who've done very well by investing intelligently in the stock market. But my main thesis, I guess, is just the fact that there's a whole world out there beyond that. And so, if we are open to that, maybe some of those other opportunities are going to be a better fit for our own strategies, for our own objectives. And so I just really want this show to be an exploration of what all is out there. And so you mentioned a lot of the stuff that I'm interested in, right? The precious metals, notes, and real estate, obviously. And and so this is just something that I think a lot of people haven't heard about, and I think it's something that, if you've already got your money in one of these retirement accounts, here's a way to kind of set that money free and make it work for you in a way that maybe we didn't think was possible, or maybe we didn't even know about. Tell me more about your educational side. Tell me, so I'm sure once someone has decided to do a solo 401k or one of these self-directed IRAs, then all of a sudden you need to be responsible for your investing, right? It's not just as simple as handing it off to the expert anymore. And is that part of why this Quest education came along?
Yeah. So when a client sets up a solo 401k or a self-directed IRA, they can invest into their own deals. Maybe they have a buddy that is a real estate investor and they want to invest into those deals. Or maybe they know of a private company, and they want to invest into a private equity type of investment.
So,
Maybe they want to do crypto, right? So they have their own investments. We have third party financial companies that we work with. That's part of our process. Is we just know that when it comes to money, there's not a one-stop shop where one company can handle everything, and people have different needs at different times. That's why our company is called Quest Education. Is people are on different parts of their quest, right? So we've got a company that operates in the real estate investment space. So if people want to look at some real estate deals, we can refer them out to a real estate company. We've got a network where we've got estate planning, trust, wills, things of that nature. Maybe client is needing to get some help in the estate planning arena. Maybe a client needs help with taxes, right? I can't tell you how many times customers come to us and they're still doing their own taxes, or they're going to like H&R Block, but yet they're an LLC and they have 1099 income, and they should be getting a lot more write-offs, and they're just not getting creative enough with their tax saving strategy. And then we've got a couple referral partners in the business lending space. Maybe a client needs help getting an SBA loan or a term loan or a line of credit. Maybe they don't have the best credit score and they need some help on the credit side. We've got an affiliate on the credit repair side to help maybe get some derogatory marks off their credit. So we've got a network of affiliates that we work with that can help people in a few different ways on the financial side.
wow, that's really powerful. I mean, any one of those things, right? I'm envisioning some high income earning doctor or lawyer or any of these entrepreneurs. Taxes is one of the biggest things that kills everyone, right? Like, especially the more you make, the more painful it is because it just gets worse and worse. Um, so there's a ton of resources there for your clients that can just really pay off. I just recently learned about these SBA loans, and I'm blown away by that opportunity too. Is that one of the things that someone could invest in if I had a solo 401k and put it as an example as like a down payment towards an SBA loan or something like that?
I mean that's where it gets tricky because you can't use um, a solo 401k or a self-directed IRA and use that money to invest into a business that you have majority ownership of. It can't be a business where there's W-2 employees and you're taking a salary.
Mm,
Typically, the self-directed IRA or the solo 401k is going to be an account that's going to be best served and less messy if you're just doing passive investments. If you're just doing lending, syndication, just passive mailbox kind of money.
okay, okay. Well, that works. That works. I mean, that's um, obviously still I want people to invest passively with me, so that's good. Let's do that. Um, Tell me more about your podcast. How long you've been at it? Where can people find it? And I guess we'll make sure to put the link in the show notes. But tell me a little bit more about just how long you've been running. I think you and I met through a podcast network. I'm starting to become a student of the podcast forum too, so I'm interested in
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. We just did episode 21 today. We just started a few months ago. So once a week, we get in the studio, have a studio here in my office, and we've been having a lot of fun with it. And the premise of the show, How Winners Win, you can find How Winners Win on iTunes and Spotify and Anchor as well. And the premise of the show is we just want to help people win in their personal and their business and their financial life. I'm a real entrepreneur with a real business. I've got 14 employees. I've failed a bunch of times, and I've gone through a lot of challenges. Still going through challenges, so it's pretty easy coming up with podcast topics that I'm going through that I can hopefully relate to the audience because we all go through certain periods of time where maybe we're just in a funk. Maybe we're just doubting ourselves. We got limited beliefs, time management, discipline, habits, networking. Obviously, the financial side, that's our strong suit. So we'll talk a little bit about the financial side. But anyone that's an entrepreneur, whether you're just starting out or you have an existing business or you're just someone that wants to grow into a better person personally, I know you'd be able to get some value out of the podcast.
very cool. I'm a big believer in the fact that you don't do one of these things in isolation, right? You can't, well, I guess it's possible, but I don't want to become a successful business person at the cost of being a successful father or a successful husband. And I really like that you came to it with a really broad mindset because we're complete. We're incomplete people, and we all need to kind of grow each of these parts of ourselves. So I think that really appeals, especially to entrepreneurs, to your potential clientele, to your potential listeners, um, because everyone's struggling with all those things, right? So, um, Daniel, do you have any other words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our audience before we end the show today?
I mean, just at the end of the day, expect the adversity, expect to have setbacks, expect to have points in time where you're questioning, is it going to work or not? That's all good stuff because if you're feeling those emotions, if you're having those trains of thoughts, that means you're growing. That means you're doing something outside of your comfort zone. Because if you didn't have those thoughts, then you're probably just chilling, watching Netflix all weekend, all day, and you're complacent. And that's not a winning mentality. So I think myself included, we just have to embrace more of the struggle because that's where the growth is on the other side of that struggle.
Very powerful. Thank you, Daniel. That's really great. Well, again, I'll make sure to put in the show notes the links to your show, How Winners Win, to your education company, Quest Education, and do you have another place where you'd like audience people to be able to contact you?
Best place would be danielblue.me. So Daniel, Daniel, and then blue, like color, danielblue.me. And that's my personal page. I've got links to my company, Quest Education. I've got links to my podcast. We also have a course It's called the Quest Way: How to Generate Money Tax Free. So it's a course that we teach people about self-directed retirement accounts and how to make money tax free and some different unique strategies. So the course link is on there and some more information about me and my company on there as well.
Okay, Daniel, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. And really, I will make every effort to keep in touch with you because I think just being in the room with someone like you is a growth opportunity in and of itself. So I wish you all the best and thank you again for reaching out. Okay.
Alex, thanks, brother. Good talking to you.
All right.